You know the feeling. That late-night YouTube rabbit hole ends on a video titled, "The Simple Three-Moving Average Strategy That Made Me 10,000 Up." Your heart skips a beat. It looks so clean, so logical. The backtest chart is a smooth green rocket ship. A spark of pure hope ignites in your chest. This is it. This is the one I've been missing. For the next 48 hours, you are a machine. You study the rules. You plot the indicators on your chart. You paper trade it, and it works. You catch 3 winners in a row. The world looks different. The markets finally make sense. You've found your edge, your holy grail. You go live. The first trade is a small winner. Confirmation. The second trade hits your stop loss. A minor setback. The third, fourth, and fifth trades are losses. Doubt creeps in. You tweak the settings. You add a filter. You take a 6th trade. Another loss. The hope curdles into frustration. That smooth, logical system now looks flawed and stupid. The market feels like it's personally targeting your stop losses. That initial spark is gone, replaced by a cold, familiar thought. This strategy doesn't work. It's broken. Or worse, I'm broken for using it. So you begin the search again. Maybe it's a supply and demand strategy this time, or a harmonic pattern scanner. The cycle restarts. Hope, hype, crash. Each new strategy is a new promise, a new identity. You go from being a moving average trader to a market structure trader to an order flow trader, collecting indicators and methodologies like souvenirs, each one eventually discarded. I lived this cycle for 2 years. I built a library of failed strategies. My hard drive was a graveyard of templates named Final System Rev 7. My confidence wasn't just low, it was schizophrenic, changing with every new video I watched. One evening, after abandoning my latest final system, I sat with my mentor. I showed him my 3 newest strategy ideas, asking which one he thought had the most potential. He didn't look at the charts. He looked at me, tired. "You don't have a strategy problem," he said, his voice flat. "You have an addiction. You're addicted to the feeling of finding the answer, not the hard work of being the answer. You're a strategy junkie. And the first step is admitting that the next one won't save you." His words didn't inspire me. They infuriated me. But they stuck. Because deep down, I knew he was right. I wasn't on a quest for the truth. I was running on a treadmill, chasing the ghost of a perfect system that would magically erase my own imperfections. The cycle wasn't a search. It was an escape. And the real reason for it was far more uncomfortable than any losing trade. Let's be brutally honest. It's rarely a string of losses that makes you abandon a strategy. It's the silence, the grinding, monotonous, soul-crushing waiting. Your strategy works, but it only gives you 1 or 2 signals a week. The rest of the time, you watch paint dry on a sideways chart. Your fingers itch. Your mind races. Scrolling through social media, you see someone else catching a big move on a method you don't understand. A voice whispers, "You could be making money right now. You're wasting time. Your strategy is too slow." This was my deepest secret. I could handle a loss. What I couldn't handle was the agonizing boredom of discipline. My mentor saw right through me during one of our sessions. I was complaining about my trend-following system being inactive. "It's not inactive," he said, pointing to the clear, ranging market on my screen. "It's doing exactly what it's supposed to do, protecting you from this chop. Your job is to sit here. Why is that so hard for you?" I didn't have a good answer. The truth was embarrassing. Sitting still felt like failure. Inactivity felt like I wasn't a real trader. He told me about a guy named Leo from our trading room. Leo had a statistically profitable mean reversion strategy. It was boring but consistent. Then, Leo discovered futures scalping. Fast charts, constant action, dozens of trades a day. The dopamine hit was immediate. He abandoned his boring, profitable system for the thrilling, red-numbered roller coaster of scalping. He blew 2 accounts. When Leo came to me, my mentor said, he thought his problem was that he couldn't master scalping. His real problem was that he was emotionally allergic to patience. He was a boredom junkie. He needed the constant action to feel alive, to feel like he was doing something. The market became his video game. He nailed it. I wasn't switching strategies to find a better one. I was switching to treat a symptom, the emotional discomfort of doing nothing. Every new strategy was a new hit of novelty, a new story to tell myself, a new distraction from the hard truth. The real work wasn't in the finding, but in the sitting. The market's greatest weapon isn't volatility, my mentor concluded. It's boredom. It uses time to weed out the impatient. Your inability to sit quietly through 10 boring days is what makes you jump into a terrible trade on the 11th. You're not being stopped out by the market. You're being stopped out by your own need for stimulation. The strategy wasn't the problem. My relationship with silence was. I wasn't trading the markets. I was using market charts to medicate my own restlessness. And that was a game I was guaranteed to lose. It wasn't just boredom. It was something deeper, more chemical. My mentor framed it in a way that changed everything for me. Think about your last strategy hunt, he said. That late-night research, the excitement of downloading a new indicator, the rush when the backtest looks good. How did it feel? Alive, I admitted. It felt like progress. That's your brain on dopamine, he explained. Not from winning a trade, from the anticipation of finally solving the puzzle. The search for the Holy Grail isn't a noble quest. It's a sophisticated dopamine drip you've set up for yourself. Each new strategy is a hit. The moment it becomes routine, the moment it requires actual disciplined execution, the drip stops. So you go searching for the next hit. He used a brutal analogy. You're a lab rat. Every time you click on a new trading course or tweak an indicator setting, you press a lever. Sometimes you get a pellet, a promising backtest. Most times, you get nothing. But the possibility of the pellet is enough to keep you frantically pressing the lever. Real trading, sitting, waiting, executing the same boring plan, offers no lever to press. So your addicted brain rejects it. It tells you it's not working, so you can go back to the stimulating lever pressing of the search. I remembered my backtest marathon phase. I could spend 12 hours straight testing strategies, fueled by coffee and the thrill of the hunt. Yet, asking me to follow a single strategy for 3 live trades felt impossible. The reason was now clear. The backtesting gave constant variable rewards, new results, new optimizations. The live trading gave delayed, uncertain rewards with boring consistency in between. My brain was wired to prefer the slot machine over the salary. This is why you can be a genius backtester and a terrible live trader, he concluded. You've trained your brain to get its rewards from discovery, not from execution. You're addicted to the aha moment, not the job well done moment. The diagnosis was clear. Strategy hopping is a behavioral addiction. It's a way to generate dopamine hits without facing the psychological void of disciplined repetition. You aren't chasing profits. You're chasing the neurological excitement of a new beginning, where all possibilities are still open and your past failures don't count. The solution, he said, wasn't to find the right strategy. It was to break the addiction to the search. It started with one new rule. You are not allowed to look at, research, or test a new strategy for 30 days. Your only task is to take every signal your current system gives, without question. You need to detox from the dopamine of the new and learn to find reward in the rhythm of the old. It was the hardest prescription I'd ever been given, because it meant sitting with the emptiness the search used to fill. I showed up to our next meeting armed with printouts, 3 new strategy ideas, each with colorful charts and bullet-pointed rules. I was ready for a deep analysis, a debate on merits. I slid the papers across the table to my mentor, a flicker of that old, hopeful excitement in my chest. He didn't even glance at them. He pushed them gently back toward me, his expression unreadable. A cold dread began to pool in my stomach. "I'm not going to look at these," he said, his voice quiet but absolute. "Why?" "This one has a really high win rate in backtest. I just need you to—" I started, the panic clear in my voice. He cut me off. "Because it doesn't matter. Looking at these is enabling your sickness. I am no longer your strategy consultant. I am your intervention." He leaned forward, his gaze locking onto mine. "Let me tell you what I see. I don't see a dedicated researcher. I see a terrified individual who is building a library of excuses. Every new strategy in that folder," he pointed at my bag, "is not a potential solution. It's a receipt for your unwillingness to do the real work." The words felt like physical blows. I wanted to argue, to defend my research, but I was frozen. "You come to me with a new edge every month," he continued. "But you never come to me with a monthly journal of you following one edge. You bring me potential energy, never kinetic. You are collecting maps of different cities because you're afraid to walk through the one you're already in. You think the problem is out there." He gestured to my charts. "In the market's complexity. The problem is in here," he tapped his own temple. "In your own simplicity. Your simple, childish belief that the right information will spare you the hardship of developing patience." He let the silence hang, allowing the humiliation to settle. It wasn't angry. It was surgical. "Your constant search is a confession," he said finally. "It confesses that you believe success is a secret to be found, not a skill to be built. It confesses that you think the masters have a magic formula you lack. They don't. They have a single, simple formula they didn't abandon when it got boring or difficult. You are not searching for a strategy. You are desperately searching for a shortcut around the grueling, unsexy, daily discipline of becoming a disciplined person. Your impatience is the core illness. The strategy hopping is just the fever." It was the most painful truth I had ever heard. He wasn't criticizing my analysis. He was diagnosing my character. The folders of strategies weren't tools. They were tombstones for my discarded discipline. "So what's the prescription?" I asked, my voice hollow. "Burn the folders," he said, not smiling. "Metaphorically, pick one, the one you've had the longest. Not the best one, the oldest one. Your job for the next 3 months is not to make it profitable. Your job is to prove to me, and to yourself, that you can follow it with robotic consistency, through boredom and losing streaks, without once Googling a new indicator. You are not testing the strategy. You are testing your own capacity for commitment. The market will give you the results later. First, you need to prove you can hold a position in your own mind." The search was over. Not because I'd found the answer, but because I'd finally been forced to admit the real question was never about the markets at all. The week after my mentor's intervention was the darkest and quietest of my trading life. I had chosen my oldest, simplest strategy, a basic support and resistance breakout system. I had deleted all other templates, hidden my indicator folders, and bookmarked no new YouTube gurus. The mandate was clear: execute, journal, repeat. No changes, no optimizations. The silence was deafening. Without the constant background hum of, "What if I tried?" my mind turned on itself. During the long, empty hours between signals, I was left alone with my thoughts, and they were brutal. This is too basic. Everyone knows this. You're wasting your time. The itch to research, to tweak, to find something better was a physical ache. I was white-knuckling my way through the boredom when I called my mentor, desperate for a lifeline. I'm following the plan, but my brain is screaming that this is stupid. How do I make it stop? You don't make it stop, he replied. You interrogate it. You need a filter, a single question to run every thought, every itch, every brilliant new idea through. From now on, before you do anything besides execute your plan, you ask yourself this: am I doing this to improve my process? Or am I doing this to escape my discomfort? He broke it down. Want to add a new confirmation indicator? Ask the question: is it a genuine, logical improvement to a proven flaw? Or is it a shiny object to distract you from the discomfort of accepting the occasional losing trade your system produces? Feel the urge to scroll trading forums? Ask the question: is it for curated education? Or is it a hit of hopium, escaping the loneliness of your own chart? The power of the question was its brutal simplicity. It removed the gray area. Every action was forced into one of two boxes: constructive process or covert escape. The test came quickly. My system gave a signal. I took the trade. It went against me and hit my stop. A normal loss. But instantly, the old script played in my head. See? This system is flawed. The stop is too tight. I should adjust it. I felt my hand move to edit the template. Then, I heard my mentor's voice. Am I improving, or am I escaping? I paused. Was adjusting the stop loss after one loss a statistical improvement? No. It was a reaction. It was me trying to escape the emotional discomfort of a loss, trying to retroactively fix a trade that was already gone. I was trying to escape the feeling of being wrong. I closed the settings window. That moment was a tiny revolution. The question acted as a circuit breaker. It didn't make the discomfort go away. It made my response to it conscious. I began to see all my old behaviors for what they were. Not innovation, but elaborate avoidance tactics. The search for a new strategy was an escape from the discipline of following one. The obsession with optimization was an escape from the patience required for statistical edges to play out. The consumption of endless trading content was an escape from the quiet focus of doing my own work. The pivotal question didn't give me answers about the market. It gave me terrifying clarity about myself. And for the first time, I had to sit in the reality of my own choices, with nowhere to run. My mentor didn't use the word choose. He used a different, heavier word. You need to marry one, he said. Not date it, not live with it. Marry it. For better, for worse. For winning streaks and for drawdowns, in sickness and in health. The analogy felt extreme, but it stuck. Dating a strategy meant you could leave when it got boring or difficult. Marriage meant you worked through the problems. You didn't search for an exit. You searched for understanding. Your goal for the next year, he laid out, is not to find a profitable strategy. It's to build an unshakable relationship with one trading system. You will learn its personality, its quirks. You will know its losing streaks as intimately as its winning ones. You will stop asking, "Does this work?" and start asking, "How do I work with this?" This was the monumental shift. I was no longer a consumer shopping for the best product. I was a craftsman apprenticing to a single tool. The responsibility moved from the strategy's performance to my fidelity to it. He gave me the 3 vows of this marriage. 1. The vow of understanding. You will know every statistical truth about your system. Its average win rate, its average loss, its longest drawdown, its best month. Not from a backtest, but from your own live execution. You will accept these numbers as the unchangeable physics of your universe. No more surprise. 2. The vow of non-abandonment. When it has a losing week, and it will, you will not look at other strategies. You will journal. You will review your execution. You will assume the fault is in your discipline, not in your partner. You will fix you before you ever blame it. 3. The vow of focus. You will become the world's leading expert on this one thing. While others are vaguely knowledgeable about 20 methods, you will have a PhD in one. Your confidence will no longer come from the strategy's promise, but from your own profound familiarity with its every possible outcome. I started treating my simple breakout strategy like a partner. I stopped blaming it for losses. Instead, I asked, did I follow our rules? I learned its rhythms. It hated news volatility. It thrived in quiet, trending London afternoons. This wasn't market analysis anymore. It was relationship counseling. The magic didn't happen in the first month. It happened in the 4th. After a small losing streak, the old panic didn't rise. A strange calm settled in. I knew this streak. I'd seen it in the historical data. It was part of our deal. I didn't doubt the system. I trusted the process. I took the next signal cleanly, without hesitation. That was the moment I stopped using a strategy and started being a trader with a strategy. The search was over, not because I had found perfection, but because I had finally committed to a path. The peace that came from that commitment was worth more than any backtest result. I was no longer a wanderer, I was a builder, laying one brick at a time on a foundation I finally believed in. It doesn't feel like a victory at first. It feels like a surrender. The frantic energy is gone. The late-night research binges, the thrill of the new setup, the constant background buzz of what if. It all fades into a quiet, almost boring routine. You take your signals, you log your trades, you walk away. The emotional roller coaster of the markets becomes a distant view from a steady, slow-moving train. I didn't wake up one day suddenly profitable. I woke up consistent. The drama was gone. The desperation to make it work was replaced by a simple procedural respect for the process. My charts were cleaner. My journal was factual. My mind was calm. The most profound change was the death of a certain kind of hope. The magical, saving grace hope that the next strategy would be the answer. That hope was replaced by something far more powerful. Trust. Trust in my system's statistical edge. Trust in my own ability to follow it. Trust that if I simply did my job, the results would take care of themselves over time. My mentor saw the change before I did. He looked at my journal, not my P&L, and nodded. "You're there," he said simply. "You're not trading a strategy anymore. You're inhabiting a process. The strategy is just your native language now. You don't think about grammar. You just speak." The final proof came from a new trader in our community. He was young, bright, and deep in the hopeful search phase I knew so well. He asked me with excited eyes, what my secret was, what combination of indicators I used, what forum I read. I showed him my chart, one moving average, horizontal lines for key levels, no other clutter. He looked confused, then disappointed. "That's it?" "That's it," I said. "The secret isn't on the chart. It's in the commitment to it." The secret was stopping the search. He didn't understand. He couldn't yet. He was still in love with the complexity, the hunt. I had finally found peace in the simplicity, the execution. Stopping the strategy hop doesn't just change your results. It changes your identity. You are no longer a seeker, you are a doer. The energy you once poured outward into an infinite search for better tools turns inward into the endless refinement of your own discipline, patience, and emotional control. My mentor gave me the final, quiet truth. The market rewards clarity, not complexity. It rewards the person who has made a definitive decision and sticks to it. Your edge was never in the code of the strategy. It was in the strength of your decision to stop looking for another one. You became reliable, and the market, in time, pays a premium for reliability. The journey ends not with a bang of profits, but with the whisper of a simple realization. You were never broken. The system was never broken. You just needed to stop running long enough to build something real where you stood.